Hi everyone, I'm going to pin this post. I'm going to pin the topic. Oi. Challenge. Beetroot kvass. Post, and then this up. Right, fantastic. Right, anyways, while everyone is adding themselves in, hello everyone, for everyone who is joining now and who will watch this in recording. The recording of this live stream will be available for 24 hours on my Instagram, and then I'm going to upload it into YouTube channel. Yeah. Today we are starting our 10 days challenge. Well, it's going to be a little bit longer than that because we're going to still first have to make the product, right? So it's about beetroot kvass. It's about beetroot kvass. Tell me if you... Hi, someone joined. Hello. Can you hear me well? Can you see me okay? If everything is... Let's check the connection, if the connection is okay. While you put... If it's okay, please just put the plus. Yeah, if something is not really good, just put the minus. We are going to look at why we're doing this. Yeah, suddenly. What's so good about the beetroot kvass, what it is. And I'm going to start with, well, for people who don't really know me, maybe just joined, my name is Anna Jozdova, and hi everyone who joined, we just started. I'm a fermentation specialist, and what I do is I teach fermentation workshops in London and surrounding area. I'm doing that for over 5 years now, and different topics I cover. Also, I just started to provide online classes on the same topics. Yeah, and the topics differ a lot. It's sourdough bread, gluten and gluten-free. It's sauces, it's condiments, it's fermented, everything fermented, obviously. Kimchi, sauerkraut, vinegar, kombucha, fermented dairy, all sorts of stuff. Yeah. I'm not merely teaching you, I'm not here to teach you fermentation recipes. Yeah. I'm more of a taking your hand and leading you to the magical world of fermentation. What I usually do is I mostly provide the understanding of the principles of fermentation, vital principles of fermentation to keep it safe and tasty. And then what I do is everyone, hi, whoever joined, we just started. And then I inspire you to create your own amazing, tasty products, yeah, tasty ferments, whether it's drinks or food. So that's what I do, yeah. Guys, whoever joined, we are just starting. This whole recording will be there for 24 hours and then will be my YouTube channel. So we're starting our challenge. I just had the whole hour dedicated to Russian-speaking community, yeah, subscribers, and we had a very fun hour together. I hope so. At least everyone enjoyed, I think. Obviously, it's a working. Everyone's working today, so most of you are going to watch in recording, which is fine. Right. So I'm going to start with why. What are we doing here? Yeah. What are we trying to achieve? So what we're doing here is so this is sort of a challenge. I wanted for you to introduce you a little bit into this fermentation and into the effects on the health. overall. So we're not treating anything. I'm not a doctor. What we're doing is merely supporting our gut health, yeah, and we're helping out our overall health to maintain our health, yeah. So beetroot kvass. Beetroot kvass is an amazing thing. First of all, if you think about beetroot, yeah, beetroot is full of nutrients. It has a very wide range. It's vitamin C there, potassium, manganese, and whatnot. You know, fiber, lots of fiber. And beetroot on its own stabilizes, has very good effects on the health overall. Stabilizes blood. It stabilizes the blood pressure. It stabilizes, purifies the blood. It detoxifies, help detoxify body to detoxify the liver, and generally boosts immunity. Yeah, it has lots of even said to help with. It has anti-cancer properties and stuff. Recommended by nutritionists very often. But there's always a but, because beetroot naturally has quite a high sugar content, right? So usually a nutritionist recommends not to drink too much of that juice. Yeah, the juice is amazing, tonic, boosting, but not too much because of too much sugar, glucose in there. So hence, fermentation, magical fermentation comes to the rescue in this case, yeah, because what it does is it provides, well, first of all, bacteria using that fermentation magic breaks down those sugars, carbohydrates, into smaller elements that are more easily digestible by the body. It doesn't raise your sugar level in the blood. It produces, those bacteria produce digestive enzymes in the process of fermentation. They also create organic acids that really boost the digestion process as well. So here we're trying to sort of give a kick in the butt for your digestion, right? Basically what I'm hoping to achieve here is to show you that with just a little bit of the help from fermented foods and drink, you can get your digestive system, your colon working, yeah, so you will be more regular. So that's why we're going to start really slow and really with small amounts. Yeah, we're not going to go really big. Ребята, кто по-русски присоединился, у меня по-русски есть отдельный эфир, да? Я уже все провела по-русски, то же самое. То есть по англичанам я то же самое даю сейчас. Ну, в смысле англоговорящим. Так что всем привет. Right, so all this process of fermentation makes all the amazing nutrients that are in the beetroot more bioavailable, yeah, so it's easier for your body to assimilate those. So basically you get all the benefits of the beetroot after the fermentation, but you don't get the sweetness there, yeah, that glucose is broken down and it's much easier to digest and it doesn't rise your blood sugar. Plus you get probiotics, live bacteria, yeah, which boosts your immune function, which boosts your lots of other functions, really, yeah. It's a huge topic, so I'm not gonna go too far here. Right, so what do we do? Yeah, so we are going to first of all, I just had a live stream in Russian about the same thing, yeah, so I divided what I've done because I wanted to show from scratch the process from scratch to you and to the Russian community. So I divided my recipe in half, yeah, so you're gonna use 1.5 kilos of beetroot, yeah, and 2-liter jar. I am going to use half of that because I already made a half, yeah, so I don't need that much. A little less than a half, yeah. So Right, so what we do, what's the program, right? We make the, hi Janet, we make the beetroot kvass, yeah? Then we monitor the progress, monitor the progress of fermentation through the stories, yeah? I'm going to post stories, and then I'll give you more instructions in stories as well today after this live stream. Then we're going to bottle it. Probably at that point we're going to have another live stream, because there's lots of tips and details, yeah. So I'm gonna discuss things, yeah, how we're going to drink it, what will be the course of our intake, I should say, yeah. It will be twice a day, and we're gonna start really slow, and build up eventually. So I'm going to explain why we do that, right? So we are making, right now we're just gonna make the beetroot kvass together. So I'm going to peel everything, so you feel free to put on your gloves, yeah, because it's murky. I have my super apron, guys, splash free, yeah, so you can just clean it like that. It's plasticky, which is great in this case, right? By the way, if you have any questions while I'm talking here, yeah, please ask them. There, I will be checking the comments from time to time. Plus, if you have some people who have questions after the live stream, suddenly something comes to my mind, oh, what about something? Or for those who join later and watch this in recording, please leave your comments under the post where the post that I have, challenge details. I'm going to post that reminder again in stories, so you know where to leave your comments, or direct message me, whichever works for you, yeah? So we're going to start by peeling our beetroot. The reason we are peeling our you can just chop that up and use it, but the reason we're peeling our beetroot is because later, in the second live stream later, in a couple of days when the class is ready, we're going to discuss what we can do with it, yeah? And it will be much easier if it's already peeled. Basically, that's it. So I'm just going to put this aside and peel the beetroot. While I'm peeling the beetroot, I want to tell you that we're going to start really slow drinking this, yeah. Most probably it will be ready within 2-3 days. It really depends where you guys from. Actually, tell me what countries are we from. It's just 3 of you for now, but tell me where. I'll know where Janet is from. Janet, your beetroot class will be ready within probably 2 days. So yeah, Janet is in Malaysia right now, so that will be fast because it's always hot in there, isn't it? Right. So the time of fermentation, it will be determined by the temperature, basically. The warmer it is where you are, yeah, and the warmer the temperature at which you ferment your beetroot kvass, the faster the fermentation will go, basically. Plus, sometimes people ask me, well, Anna, tell me, when is my kvass going to be ready? Or whatever of my product is going to be ready. You are the only person on earth who can determine when your fermented product is ready, right? Why that is? Because we're all very, very individual. We have individually trained taste buds. So, which will determine when it's ready for you. Basically, ready means tasty, up to my liking, yeah? Of course, we're going to discuss the vital signs of fermentation, yeah? So you know that, okay, because, it might be tasty now, but it's not fermented yet. So you will know what signs to look for. Yeah, looks good. Let me just rinse my hands. And so you will be the only person who will be able to determine if that's tasty. I'm going to try my best to give you the guidelines how to determine that, right? So don't worry. If you've never tasted this or you know, never seen it, you don't really know how, even if you don't really know how fermented foods or drinks supposed to taste like, that's absolutely fine. Don't worry about that, right? So, now, we peeled our beetroot, the mechanics of it. We take the jar, where's my jar? There. And again, I'm reminding you that you have almost triple of this recipe, yeah? And you have double of this jar. This is a 1 liter jar, this is 1.8, so almost, you would have 2 liter jar, yeah? Obviously, after you peel your 1.5 kilos of beetroot, it's not going to be 1.5, you will lose some of the weight. So, it'll be closer to one kilo, depending. A good idea to take tasty beetroot, and by tasty I mean, because mine is young beetroot, yeah, just grown. It had shoots and everything. Tops, I mean. It can be old beetroot from winter, as from autumn as well, but sometimes that beetroot, especially around the time of January, February, becomes not that tasty anymore, because beetroot should be quite tasty and still sweet. Don't worry if you know your beetroot really well, yeah, because there might be people who know that, okay, that beetroot is just not really tasty. Maybe wait, depending on where in the world you are, wait a little bit and wait for the good beetroot to come, yeah, the fresh beetroot, because the season is right now, is coming right now. Different countries might be different, but in England, this is the season is on. So I would suggest taking nice tasty beetroot and wait for it, yeah, and then do the whole challenge on your own, because all the information will be there in actual, how do you call that, those under the bio, there's those round circles. So it's all going to be sitting there, all the information, all the progress, all my stories, yeah? So don't worry, and this video will be, and the next one, live stream, will be available on YouTube, so don't worry about that. And the YouTube, I said already, the YouTube, my YouTube channel is in the bio, below the link, right? So, beetroot, good idea if it's tasty, because when it's not tasty, not sweet, the kvass will not be that great, yeah. This kvass is going to taste very specifically, yeah. It's quite, because beetroot gives the very earthy flavor, taste. It will be salty. Basically, if you've ever tasted Russian soup, borscht, that's exactly how it tastes, yeah. Anyways, we are starting with the jar. So beetroot, yeah, we peel the beetroot. Jar, good idea to sterilize your jar. Yeah. What I usually do is just heat up some boiled water and pour some boiled water on the walls around here inside on the lid. You can also take a jar like this with a spoon top. It really doesn't matter. Yeah, so we sterilize our jar. It should be clean. And what we do is we're going to chop up the beetroot. How you chop up your beetroot really doesn't, it's not crucial, but mind you, the smaller parts, the smaller pieces you chop it into, the faster the fermentation will go, because the smaller the pieces, more surface, more basically food available for bacteria. Yeah, so the fermentation will go a bit quicker. What I usually do is I cut it like so. Something like this. Yeah? That's my pieces. And in they go into the, basically before I do this, good idea, sorry, if somebody's following me, I'm really sorry. We need to weigh this down, because we need to determine how much salt. Well, first of all, I'm going to weigh these down so I know what sort of batch I'm doing, so you have more reference, yeah, because obviously your batch is bigger. So mine is about 450 gram. Yeah, so I'm doing a little bit less than half batch, because remember, I've done the same thing in Russian already. Yeah, right. So you're chopping your beetroot, putting it straight into the jar. Do this, so you can see, hopefully. Yeah. Chopping your beetroot. Plus, later we're going to discuss what we can do with this. There are a few things we can do. Basically, some people are okay, because you see the process of fermentation, what it does is creates osmosis, and osmosis draws all the nutrients out of the beetroot, and that's why we're drinking the drink. Yeah, the drink is the kvass itself is nutritionally dense, so all the nutrients containing in the beetroot are going to be in the drink. Yeah. The beetroot itself, after this osmotic pressure, will be left, first of all, without much nutrients, much less nutrients there will be, yeah. Plus, there will be sort of discoloration, so they will be kind of like a little bit brownish, and the taste is going to go as well, so it's not going to be as tasty as the beetroot was before, like how it is now, right? So it will be very different. That's why, I mean, some people are okay with that and it's still tasty for them, putting into soup, maybe into stew, into something else. Personally, for me, it's not tasty. It loses lots of taste, also loses, changes that color, that brownish sort of shade it gives it. It's just not very pleasant, to be honest. So I don't like it. But there is something you can do. You can do with it. Yeah. I'm going to put this away. Oh, actually, if you like garlic, yeah, we're going to put. Let me see. There you go. We're going to put a little 1 clove of garlic. Yeah, just if you really like garlic, put a couple of cloves. Yeah, it's gonna give it very rich, garlicky taste. So I'm going to break that, crush the garlic, yeah, to release nutrients, the compounds in the garlic, because that crushing of the garlic releases extra compounds in the garlic, makes it much more, much better for, yeah, releases some good nutrients in there, so they are more bioavailable as well, and stronger. Right. So this is the amount of beetroot. Yeah, should be around, in your large jar, it should be around something like this. Yeah, don't go up to here. Don't fill up your, don't be greedy. Don't fill it up like, okay, the more the beetroot, the better. It will be better in terms of intensity of the flavor and color, but not gonna produce much beetroot kvass. Yeah, because all the space in the jar will be taken by the beetroot. So yeah, that's not really good. So do something a little bit more than a half. If it's half, it's fine as well. Yeah. So mine looks like this. Now, important bit. Actually, with the garlic, or instead of the garlic, you can use a little bit, couple of pieces of celeriac. It will add an interesting taste and flavor. Plus, it will add to the nutritional content of your fermented drink. Yeah. And more bacterial profile as well, enhance. Because you see, what we're doing here is we have all these ingredients. Yeah, it's water. It's going to be water, beetroot, salt. But then some people ask, well, okay, but where do we get the bacteria from? You didn't add any bacteria. And what happens is that we take this fermentation process is going to take bacteria from the air. Plus, there's loads of them residing on the vegetable itself. So good idea to source organic vegetables, yeah, because if they are non-organic and sprayed with pesticides, herbicides, and whatnot, what happens is that fermentation might not go as well. the result might not be that great, because all those compounds that they spray with are there to kill bacteria, microorganisms, and we're here to propagate them, not kill them. Yeah, so be aware of that. So if something happened with your ferment, you think it didn't go right, that might be the case. And by the way, if anything, always direct message me with questions and pictures. Right, water. Where's my water? There it is. With the water, so salt, yeah, salt, the amount of salt is determined by the amount of water. So we are going to do 2.2% of salt to the amount of water. So we're going to, oh no, actually I'm going to fill it up. I'm going to fill it up where I think is a good level. And again, don't fill it up to the mouth, yeah, to the brim. Fill it up, give it like a centimeter, half an inch, yeah, from the top. Hope you can see that, yeah. So give it a half an inch. I'm gonna add just a tiny bit leave room for the fermentation activity. Yeah, there will be bubbles and foam, so you need some room, not much, but a little bit. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to take my bowl. It can be a pan, yeah, and I'm going to zero it out. I'm going to pour all the water into the bowl. As you can see, it's pinkish. Okay. Leaving the beetroot in the jar. Basically, we're weighing the water. Yeah, so it's 470 gram. So 470 gram of water, or milliliters. Milliliters and grams are the same measurement. What we're going to do is 2.2 of that is about 10 gram and 0.32, I think. So going to take the salt. Now the next ingredient, quite important as well, is the salt. Try not to use the table salt, yeah, because that's void of nutrients. Might contain some anti-caking agents. Believe me, you don't need that. Might usually has some aluminium in it as well, which again, not a good thing. Neurotoxin. You don't need aluminium in any amount in your body. I'm using sea salt, usually unrefined sea salt, yeah, something like that. You can't see that. That's French unrefined. There's quite a few of the brands of those. You can, if you're in America and you're lucky enough to source lake salt, that's probably the cleanest salt there is, yeah, on this planet. Оль, не заморачивайся с этими самыми, это не важно. Я их вижу, все окей. Там ничего важного нету. Or you can use Himalayan salt. Yeah, pink. Make sure it's a real thing and it's not just colored, you know, salt, table salt. Right, so I'm going to use my sea salt, and we need to measure out. Is that clean? No. Is that clean? No. We're going to use, there we go, 10 gram of that, yeah. So good idea to have kitchen weights, really helps. If not, for this amount, 10 gram is about where are my measuring spoons? 2 teaspoons, measuring teaspoons, even says to 5 milliliter, yeah. Level measuring spoons. Why it's important to get your salt right is because too little salinity, yeah, you will help propagate the bacteria that should not be there, microorganisms that should not be there, and fermentation might not go as planned. If you have too much salt, on the other hand, that also can cause certain problems, and the bacteria that you're trying to propagate is not going to tolerate that high salinity. It will be too high for it, and some other unwanted pathogens might lurk about, so you don't really want that, yeah? So getting your salt right is quite important in fermentation. Right, So what I'm doing next, I'm adding the salt into the water. And before I add all that into the jar, yeah, we need to dissolve the salt. So obviously you can just take a teaspoon or tablespoon or whatever and do that. Yeah, 5-10 minutes it will dissolve, probably maybe faster. You can even leave it like that and go do your business, and then give it a few stirs to dissolve the salt. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the stove, very, very low fire, and I'm going to use my finger and stir it. Why I'm using my finger? 2 reasons, yeah, because people might say, oh, you're using your finger, that's, you know, that's dirty. Well, first of all, my hands are clean. Second of all, I want to feel when that salt is dissolved already, yeah. And with finger, it's much easier than with your tablespoon. Second of all, the hand determines the warmness of the water, yeah. We don't need that water to be warm in any to any degree, because if it's very warm, obviously you can use the thermometers and measure that, but that's not necessary at all. What happens is that if it's too warm, it can pasteurize the bacteria, and we're trying to propagate it, not kill it. So that's why this should be just room temperature. Yeah. So mine dissolved. What did it take? Half a minute. Yeah. So now that when salt is dissolved completely, yeah, because we don't want undissolved salt sitting here, not enough salt there. That can cause some problems during the fermentation. So we need the even distribution of salt. So we're pouring that over. Oh. Fantastic. So we're back where we were. Yeah. The beetroot are quite heavy, sitting at the bottom of the jar, and none of them is peeking up above the water, yeah, above the brine. So, which is great. Basically what we want is anaerobic condition, which is without oxygen. Yes, we want those guys sit in. If you feel like, okay, they're protruding up, sticking out, and you feel like you need to use airlock, maybe airlock jar, or you need to use maybe crock with there's small crocks with weights. Maybe you have weights, yeah, do use all that if you feel comfortable with that. But if you don't have any of that, yeah, what you can do is using your tablespoon, yeah, you will be just checking, because this is a quite fast ferment in this temperature range that we are now, well, at least in England. 2-3 days it will be ready. So today is day 0, so tomorrow first day, the day after tomorrow second day, so second, third day it should be ready. Yeah, so it's a fast fermentation. Nothing has time to actually start forming, like pathogens and stuff, yeah, like molds. So tomorrow what you will do, because you are gonna keep this closed like this, yeah, at the kitchen counter, on the kitchen counter, at room temperature, don't put it in the fridge, and away from direct sun rays. Yeah, sunshine is fine, sunlight, but direct sun rays are not for this type of fermentation. You can, when you're using this jar, yeah, you can just tightly screw it up. It should be fine. Again, as I said, it's not crucial because we're not fermenting for months and months or weeks and weeks. Yeah. So tomorrow, when you're passing, and don't put it in the airing cupboard or anything like that, or any nooks, any corners somewhere far. First of all, you're gonna forget about that. Second of all, it does need some air circulation, and it's just basically a life. You know, we're trying to propagate some life form, life microorganisms. And yeah, just don't shove them in something. Plus, you want to see what's happening. I suggest you try a little bit of it like that now, yeah, or when you're gonna be making it. just to see, because it's very important to taste your ferment on all stages of fermentation. Yeah. So you're gonna leave it like this. Tomorrow, actually, by the way, good idea to put a label on it with the date and with the what it is. Yeah, so you know what it is. Especially if you have other things in the kitchen, like I do. I have a whole range of ferments in the back. So you put it there, yeah, and then tomorrow, you passing by, you're going to check that, yeah. Because for example, this one from the side, I can see. If it looks exactly like this, nothing is really happening, yeah, because what you're looking for is bubbles, fermentation bubbles. So it will be, to use the airtight container because I just use cloth. No, you don't need to use airtight container, honestly. You can even have it open like this, yeah. For example, you may have a weight or something, smaller container, put it in as a weight and then cover with the cloth, yeah. Rubber band, so nothing flies in, no dust or anything like that. It really doesn't matter, to be honest. It does not need to be airtight, honestly. Right? So tomorrow you're gonna look at the bubbles. If there's no bubbles, if it looks exactly like it is now, yeah, you just look and you pass by, continue doing your own stuff. If you looked and there are bubbles, or if there's pieces of beetroot sticking out, getting like, hello. So they're seeking attention. They're seeking love and attention, TLC they need. So you take the tablespoon and you push them in. Push them in. And even though they don't stay in, for example, mine do, and you don't have the weight, just, because with weight you don't need to do any of that, yeah, it's even lower maintenance. But if you don't have the weights, you can use that tablespoon to push them in. So at least you wash them with the brine at least once a day, yeah, to keep it safer, so there's no calm yeast or anything like that forming, yeah. But again, as I was saying, it's a very fast fermentation, so nothing is going to happen. Nothing should happen to your ferment. The minute you see, and all that progress every day in stories, I'm going to, my beetroot stay at the bottom. I don't need, wait, there you go. Mine as well, you see, Janet, same thing. So when I'm going to show you in stories on Instagram daily how my ferment is going. And then in the comments for under the post, I'm going to post that again on stories. Yeah, the challenge details, that one. In that post, we're going to in comments discuss things if anything needs discussing, or you can post something on in my direct message. Yeah, you can direct message me. By the way, if you're posting your progress with this and results, if you like on Instagram, use if you're going to do that, I specially created crafted special hashtag challenge _ gut health 10, I think. I'm going to post that hashtag in the stories as well, so don't worry, it's all there. It's all gonna be there, so you don't need to remember anything. So you leave it like this, yeah, and you look for bubbles. Usually bubbles is sort of whitish. They start really low, very, very small bubbles with maybe a little bit of foam on the surface. Yeah, nothing is wrong. It's the sign of fermentation. Don't be scared. Because some people might think, oh my God, something wrong is happening with my ferment. No, it's all good. Yeah. As I was saying before, you can use airlocks and stuff if you have them and if you like to. So we're going to wait for that to ferment. Yeah. And when that's ready, I'm going to have another live stream so we can discuss what do we do with the beetroot, how do we bottle, do we leave for because this is a first ferment, yeah, do we leave it for secondary fermentation and what it is or not. We're going to discuss all that, and then I'm going to give you the instructions how to drink. Basically what we're going to do with drinking is we're going to start really low, yeah. I'm going to drink in shots like this, morning and evening. First week, it's going to first 5 days, because remember, we do a challenge of 10 days, of drinking 10 days, yeah? So we're going to do, by the way, some kvass for myself, some fruit kvass. By the way, the fruit kvass challenge, well, not challenge, I'm not sure how I'm going to call this yet, but fruit kvass making craze, yeah, the season is coming. So it's going to happen after this challenge. So in 10-15 days, I'm going to start another interaction with you guys. So we're going to be making different kvasses and all kind of fizzy stuff. Very tasty, by the way. Right, so how are we going to be drinking? Why are we going to start really low? Yeah? Because we are all different, and as I said before, we are not treating anything here. Yeah, we're not treating disease here or anything like that. What we're trying to do is see the effect. Yeah, feel the effect of the fermented drink, fermented food, probiotic life foods on your overall state of health, basically. Yeah, we're trying to support your mainly digestive function. Yeah, so you're going to be most probably going to be more regular. Maybe some other good things, I don't know. I'm hoping you're going to report that back to me, because I'm really interested. And mind you, we're all very different, and my approach is very individual. Yeah, so something that might be good for one might not be that great for another. Yeah, so mind that. And always watch your symptoms and whatnot. So we're starting really low, because because they're different people. For example, I can start drinking probably half of that glass easily. Yeah, but I do regularly drink and eat fermented foods on a daily basis, few times a day. Yeah, and that's a big difference from the person who doesn't do that already. So if you don't already regularly take some probiotic foods or drinks or that and that on a daily basis for some time, you should start really, really low. So we're going to start with basically 30 gram or milliliters of that kvass we're going to make, and then go on and increase that after the first 5 days. Obviously checking how we're feeling, yeah, overall state of health. We are going to increase that to 60. And then if you like the effect, or you want to see how it goes on, yeah, or you like the challenge or whatever, you can make some more of your kvass, because whatever we made now should be enough. I mean, what you made, yeah, because your batch was bigger, should be enough for 10 days. So if you like to continue, because it's a good idea to continue. I mean, we are going to continue with fruit kvasses, which is good as well. Yeah, but if you want to continue with that, you can make another batch and continue with that, and maybe increase a little bit more. Overall, I wouldn't suggest drinking probably more than, because this is 200 milliliter glass. I think it's 250 even. It's a big glass. So I would say maybe 100 gram a day. Maybe twice a day. Yeah, again, depends on how you're feeling. If you feel like, okay, that's not really working for me, then probably don't do that. Yeah, maybe lower it a little bit. So you don't have adverse reaction. And adverse reaction is only caused by the fact that when you get a rush of large quantities of probiotic bacteria, which we are going to have in here, yeah, it's going to be full of probiotics. What happens is that some of the bacteria, some of the microorganisms in your gut die, yeah, and they release toxin, and that toxin needs to be detoxified by the body somehow. So how it will happen with you, I don't know. Janet here, she had joint pain from drinking too much kombucha. Remember, Janet? So the minute she stopped, she cut down significantly. That pain stops. So it might be a severe headache out of nowhere. It can be diarrhea, it can be rush, it can be lots of different things, maybe even mood. Yeah, it's because it's all connected. So that's why, yeah, it's a long story, but that's why we're starting really, really low. So hopefully it's suitable for everyone. And you know, for everyone, you know, we're talking about healthy people here. Yeah, we're maintaining our health, and we're helping our digestive function. Yeah, so elimination mostly. Yeah, but there will obviously be more benefits than that. So let me know in the comments how you like it. Yeah, if this was informative, maybe too much information, maybe too little information. If you have any questions, I'm going to post on stories where to leave your comments. Yeah, it's under the challenge details post on Instagram. Right. So if that's it, I'm probably going to be and tell me also under that post for Sriracha. Tell me, comment how, if you tried making it, obviously not now because it takes a month, yeah, but when you make it, if you make it, let me know how you liked it. What did you think about it? What's your comments? What, you know, maybe your parents or your husband liked it, or maybe even children, I don't know. And tell me if you tried making non-chili version, yeah, with sweet peppers, because that's really interesting. Well, that's really it, yeah, and I'm going to see you in the stories very shortly. Thank you guys for watching, and have fun with it. Have fun with fermentation. Bye.